At Miller Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the New York Mets play the Milwaukee Brewers. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Optimum. For the best offers on TV, internet, and phone, visit Optimum.com. By Tri Honda. Hurry to your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on 2017 models. And by Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. Mets have hit the road and they're nearby downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee River flowing right through town. We're not showing you the statue of Fonzie, but it's right nearby. And then just out of town, it's Miller Park. The roof is closed tonight because it's still freezing cold in Milwaukee in the middle of May. So they heated up the grill, they got the bratwurst going, and we're ready for some baseball tonight. And the Mets, amidst all the bad news, have one of their stalwarts back in the lineup. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Milwaukee. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets begin a 6-game road trip with the first of 3 in Milwaukee. In a season full of bad news, best pitcher out for the long term, best hitter out for the time being. The Mets' best reliever is now on the shelf for the long term as well. Jeurys Familia underwent surgery today in St. Louis after being diagnosed yesterday with a blood clot underneath his right arm near his armpit, and the likelihood is Familia will be out for months, maybe for the entire year.
Well, this is another body blow, and this is a real gut check for the Mets. It's just one thing after the other, and it's not that it just happened this year, Gary. It seems like it happens every year. This club has always been resilient, and as always, when you think they're down, they fought back. But this is a real tough loss right here. The burden now is going to fall on that bullpen, and it's going to be Blevins and Hansel Robles and Reed, who are going to have to pick up the slack because Familia is not going to be around for a very long time.
And those remaining relievers already vastly overworked early in the season, so it's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Meanwhile, the starter for the Mets today, a story in of himself. Matt Harvey pitching for the first time in 10 days, back from the 3-game suspension after missing a game last weekend.
Well, Matt has certainly made things tough on himself here, and he's brought himself into the spotlight. It's a regular start in the season that is going to be very much out in the open. It's a tough start for him here in Milwaukee. He needs to win this ball game, get out there and have a good performance.
And the mercurial right-hander Matt Garza makes his 4th start of the year for the Brewers after coming off a groin injury.
Well, he started on the DL. 8th time on the DL for Matt Garza, 15-10 back in 2010. A sub-500 pitcher. He's going for the win tonight for the Mets. He's had 3 good starts so far this season for the Brewers.
So the Mets open a series in Milwaukee. The Brewers have their best hitter, Ryan Braun, on the disabled list. So it's a battle of injured groups. Mets and Brewers, all the action coming your way on SNY.
New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks. Visit them at mynycb.com. By Nissan, make the move to Nissan and save big. Shop ChooseNissan.com today. And by the New York State Health Department, smoking is an addiction. For help quitting, talk with your health care provider. Get to Citi Field Friday, May 19th. The Mets play the Angels at 7:10 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive an up-the-middle Neil Walker and Asdrubal Cabrera T-shirt, courtesy of M&M's. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Fridays. Your Mets Power Pitchers of the Week, brought to you by East Coast Power and Gas. Highest strikeouts per 9 innings. Mets are 4th on the list. The Dodgers sitting atop that list, led by the indomitable Clayton Kershaw. More from the Milwaukee River, highlighting our broadcast so far tonight. But fear not, there's baseball ahead. First pitch coming up from Milwaukee. One of the big stories in baseball in the first month of the season, Eric Thames returned from 3 spectacular years in Korea and coming back to the United States and hitting 11 home runs in April, setting a Brewers club record for home runs in the first month. Here's your Mets Geico starting lineup, and Lucas Duda is back after missing the last 18 games with a hyperextended elbow. He'll go in the 7th spot, but TJ Rivera stays in the lineup. He'll play third base with Jose Reyes getting the night off, and we'll see how Terry Collins progresses from there with that situation. Rene Rivera, who's been red hot with the bat, stays in the 8-hole as the Mets face Matt Garza.
Well, Matt Garza, his 4th start, as I said in the open, barely. He started the season on the DL with a groin. He's had a couple good starts, 1-0 record. He's a veteran, been on the DL 8 times. He's never lived up quite to the promise that they thought the pitcher that he'd be, but here he is on the mound for the Brew Crew. And for the Coors Light defense, we'll highlight Hernan Perez, who's started in 6 positions for the Brewers this season. And now with Ryan Braun on the DL, he's going to get some left field play. On the infield, Gary, of course, mentioned Eric Thames, quite the story. with his fast 13 home run start, and that is Joan Jet Bandy behind the plate.
His name is not Joan. It's merely Jet.
I've never heard that first name before.
Guess his father was as bold as the sergeant major. Michael Conforto will lead off for New York. Michael went 4 for 9 with a home run in the series against the Giants. Sat out the last game on Wednesday with a mild hamstring issue, but he is pronounced 100% and good to go. And in there tonight, Garza's first pitch is outside, and we're underway.
Well, we're seeing a lot from Michael this year, what we saw 2 years ago when he got called up in the second half. Very good plate discipline, good eye at the plate, hitting with power. Really just off to a great start.
Hitting .337, 8th in the National League, also in the top 10 in on base and in slugging percentage. And he fouls back the fastball from Garza, 1-1.
I'm just hopeful that Michael does not get home run happy. I think that did him in last year. I think he's learned his lesson. There's not a ballpark in the league that can hold him. He can hit him out of all fields. So I'd like to see him stay with that up the middle approach and line drives.
Garza works him inside. Matt Garza, not the hard thrower that he once was. You look at the slugging numbers through the team's first 30 games.
It's pretty incredible.
And only 3 Mets have ever gotten off to a faster start in that regard.
The better bookends on that list, Piazza and Conforto.
Asdrubal Cabrera on deck, and then Jay Bruce for the Mets, who have scored in the first inning in 9 of their last 10 games. It's a nice formula for success. And Conforto hits one over toward left center field. Perez gets over in front of the warning track for the first out of the night.
It's a little difficult to see the ball, at least from our vantage point, Gary. Kind of lost it in this time of day here. Still a lot of sunlight, even though the roof's on.
Filters through the windows up on the first base side. They've got the roof closed. It's 60 degrees outside, 67 inside at game time, and it should be going down into the low 50s by the end of the evening. They did open the roof here for a day game yesterday when the temperature was right about the same as it is now, but with the night game and the prospect of the temperature going down, they decided to shut it down. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who did not start any of the last 4 games after hurting his thumb a week ago Saturday. He has pinch hit several times, though, and honestly, it was his leg more than his thumb that kept him out of the lineup the last 2 days. Cabrera 2 for 8 with a couple of home runs against Matt Garza in his career. And they overshift the infield against Asdrubal. Interesting, we just saw the Giants, who did very little shifting. The Brewers are going to do far more in this series against all the Met left-handed bats.
And I don't understand the shift off Cabrera here, because he has the ability to go the other way. If you're going to do that, then you've got to play him for the pull extreme and pitch him in.
Change up outside. It's 2-1. Jay Bruce waiting on deck.
Good change. Took a lot off that pitch. Had Cabrera completely fooled out in front.
Now Garza has really refined the way he pitches. Throws a lot more sinkers now than he used to. He used to be a guy who threw 95 miles an hour. He's not that guy anymore. 33 years old. 2-2 coming. And it's poked foul.
Garza has also been a part of 3 trades. A couple big ones.
At his best years in Tampa Bay, where he was the MVP of the 2008 League Championship Series. He's kicked around a lot since then. Signed a 4-year deal with the Brewers, now in the final year of that deal, and in the 3 years plus since he came to Milwaukee, he's 21-30 with an ERA of 4.5. So it hasn't worked out quite the way the Brewers had hoped. Up and away to Cabrera in a full count. And for Garza, only his 4th start this year because he had a groin injury that put him on the DL to start the season. Last year was a lat injury that kept him out for 2.5 months. So it's been one thing after another. And there you see his overall career numbers. 3-2 coming to Cabrera, and his dribble rolls over one and fouls it off. Mets took 5 out of 7 from the Brewers last year. Swept a 3-game series in New York. Split 4 here. Brewers are very much a rebuilding team. 74 wins last year. Their last postseason appearance came in 2011. But they've got some young talent on the way, and some of it already here. 3-2 coming, and it's fouled back into the screen. The Brewers put Ryan Braun on the disabled list today, and there was a thought that maybe one of their young prospect outfielders, particularly Lewis Brinson, who is their best prospect, might be called up, but Brewers went a different way, called up Eric Sogard, who's playing shortstop for them today, and leaving their prospects down below for the time being. Greg Counsell now in his 2nd full season, took over midway in the 2015 year. There's Sogard, just activated today. Fouled away. Sogard, remember they did the poll for the face of baseball a couple of years ago when Sogard was in Oakland, and the finalists wound up being David Wright and Eric Sogard.
I did not remember that.
Yeah.
And who was the winner?
I don't know, but it was kind of comical, right?
Yes. Yes.
Sogard, a utility guy with Oakland, would be part of that conversation.
Yes.
Long turn at bat here for Cabrera. This will be the 10th pitch from Garza, with Jay Bruce waiting to follow. And as dribble takes strike 3 call. Knee-high fastball punched out by Tom Hallion, and that's the 2nd out.
Oh, I like the call. Very dramatic call, 3rd strike. I thought it was too close to take. Could have been low, but too close to take. Boy, what an emphatic call. And those are not multiplication tables, folks. Trust me.
That is Hernan Perez's cheat sheet for where to play the hitters in left field. Perez, as Keith mentioned, a guy who started at 6 different positions, so he needs to keep himself well informed with his little paper. Jay Bruce sitting 3rd in the order. Bruce has 3 career home runs against Matt Garza. He's got 10 home runs for this season. Back in a ballpark where he has played plenty, having spent his entire career in the National League Central until he became a Met last season. And he grounds one down to first, and Thames makes the play, and Garza has himself a 1-2-3 opening inning. Matt Harvey takes the mound to face the Brewers when we come back. early season sensations is coming back from Korea. Eric Thames will bat second against Matt Harvey. Jonathan Villar leads off, and Matt misses way inside for ball one.
There's big Matt, clean shaven, and Land Rover numbers. 7th start here, coming off that so-so start in Atlanta. I know that Matt said he felt great in that start, and I didn't think it was a particularly great start myself, but pitching in that ballpark, that would kind of put you on pins and needles. The new launching pad.
VR hits a comebacker, and Harvey makes the throw on target to the newly returned Lucas Duda for the first out. There's the starting lineup for the Brewers. No Brian Braun, he's on the disabled list, so Hernan Perez not only takes over in left, but goes into the number 3 hole in the batting order. Travis Shaw, who was with the Red Sox last year. Keon Broxton, with a lot of speed, has been hitting well down in the batting order. Might be a candidate to lead off sometime soon. And here's Thames. 13 home runs, tied for the major league lead, 25 driven in. He was in the big leagues in 2011 and 12 with the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Hit .250 with 21 home runs over 2 seasons. Flies one along the left field line, and Conforto ranges over, and that's the second out.
And your Lexus defense, your New York Met defense. Curtis Granderson back in center field. Conforto, Bruce on the corners. On the infield, there's the big change right there. Rivera moving from first base with Lucas back at first base. Reyes sits the bench. Rivera gets the start. He's been hitting. We'll see how long Terry sticks with Rivera at third.
Well, Terry's mantra again today was, if you hit, you play, and TJ has been hitting, so he's playing. See what happens tomorrow. Hernan Perez takes up and away for ball one. Perez, the epitome of the modern super utility player, playing just about every day at some position. 6 different spots, and he low bridges Harvey for the first hit of the game.
Gets himself a high flat slider. Gets it right up the middle. Not much break. Nice hitting. Stayed in.
So the Brewers have a 2-out base runner, and now the cleanup hitter Travis Shaw. Shaw played for the Red Sox last year. Came over in a deal for reliever Tyler Thornburg in the offseason. Thornburg is yet to pitch in Boston. He's had shoulder issues. And here's Shaw hitting cleanup, and Harvey nearly spiked that pickoff throw.
I always liked Thornburg too. I thought that was a good move for the Red Sox to bolster their bullpen. But he hasn't been able to pitch.
And Shaw has been was outflanked in Boston after getting off to a good start there. Wound up hitting 242 last year with 16 home runs. And Harvey comes up and in. So here's Matt Harvey pitching for the first time in 10 days after all the tumult of the last week. Out late Friday night by his own admission. Didn't show up Saturday. Suspended when he showed up to pitch on Sunday. And the Mets went with Adam Wilk in his spot. And then contrite when he came back and talked to his teammates and to the media. And here he is back on the mound for the first time.
Well, the Mets certainly need him. He's a big part of that starting rotation.
Well, especially with Syndergaard and Matz and Lugo all down. Shaw hits one off the end of the bat. That may fall in. Conforto coming on, though, and he makes the catch, and then he eludes the sliding Cabrera after the play. Nice play by Conforto. Had to come a long way to catch that blooper and get Harvey through the bottom of the first. Nice little sidestep back from his football days. No score after 1. Mets score, the more you save. For every run the Mets score against the Brewers and Diamondbacks during this road trip, you'll save $1 on select tickets to the upcoming homestand May 19th through the 25th. For more information, visit Mets.com/runs. Second inning with no score. Roof closed at Miller Park. Neil Walker leads off against Matt Garza. Neil, another former National League Central performer, back in a place where he used to play a ton of games.
And as a Pirate, the nemesis of the Pirates in the Central Division over the Clint Hurdle years has been this Milwaukee Brewer club, and particularly here.
That's a curveball that didn't break from Garza, and it's 2-0.
Neil yet to get on track, hitting .218 on the year, but 16 RBIs.
He had that walk-off hit against the Giants in the opening game of the series Monday night, but like so many in this lineup, Curtis Granderson right behind him in the lineup is another example, just hasn't been able to put any kind of consistency together.
I think a telltale sign is the extreme shift put on Neil Walker. The right side of the infield covered with 3 fielders, and you didn't see that much last year with Walker. Uses really a gap-to-gap hitter.
Garza falls behind him 3-0. Garza's only walked 3 batters in 18 2/3 innings to start the year. But he walks Walker on 4 pitches to start the second inning. And the Mets have their first base runner of the night.
Leadoff walks. They'll find a way to score.
Now Curtis Granderson. Curtis had an RBI double his first time up on Wednesday, but just 2 for his last 19. You see that batting average still languishing under 140. Right now it looks like Yoenis Cespedes is probably about 2 weeks away from returning, and gives Curtis about 2 weeks to try and figure stuff out. Otherwise, when you look at the configuration of this team right now, it's going to be hard to justify playing him every day when Cespedes returns.
Well, we're already seeing it right now at third base, Gary, with TJ Rivera getting the playing time. Jose on the bench today. We'll see how that plays out.
Well, I will say this. I think on the infield, Keith, there's a little more room for Terry to maneuver, because Cabrera needs days off. Walker needs days off. So you can move Reyes around and figure out a way to get him playing time.
It's what we said all spring training, that this was the team with the most depth that Terry's managed as in the Met uniform. But these injuries have ravaged this ball club.
1-1 to Granderson with Rivera on deck, and Curtis pops one a mile high. Shaw retreating. Sogard comes over to call him off, and Sogard makes the grab for the first out. I just think that in the outfield, when Cespedes gets back, assuming that everybody else is healthy from now till then, I don't see how you can do anything other than play Cespedes, Conforto, and Bruce every day.
And Conforto is going to have to play center field.
Right. Well, he's done it. He's done it successfully.
We'll see it over an extended period of time. We'll see. He's played a wonderful center field so far. He plays a good left field. He's really a left fielder. A lot more responsibility, a lot more ground to cover in center field.
Here's TJ Rivera, starting his 13th straight game. First 12 were at first base. Moves over to the other corner tonight with Duda's return, and takes the breaking ball off the plate for ball 1. Well, the Mets have the raging Riveras. Rene having the best offensive stretch of his career, and TJ just continues to rake, and certainly justifying staying in the lineup. 60 at bats deep into this season. He's hitting .300 after hitting .333 last year in his first trial, and swings over the slider 1-1.
Well, what we've seen of TJ is that he likes to swing the bat, and I like aggressive hitters. He likes that ball middle in. Boy, he can turn on that fastball in.
By the way, Joe Trezza on MLB.com wrote a great feature story on T.J. Rivera today, talking about his path to the big leagues, which is a completely unconventional one. Growing up playing baseball in the space between buildings in the Bronx, and almost getting cut from his JV team at Lehman High School, and the fact that he had to scrounge for a college opportunity, then wasn't drafted. I mean, it's the most unlikely of stories. Joe did a great job writing it up.
Tenacity and perseverance and never say die attitude.
Fastball inside from Garza, 2-2. Lucas Duda waits on deck, getting ready for his first AB off the disabled list. And the breaking ball taken the other way, a base hit for Rivera. Nice job of hitting by TJ. Waiting on the breaking ball and going the other way, and the Mets have 2 men on.
2-2 count. Beautiful hitting right there. And it looks like he was going up the middle, set up that way, and that is a rip.
So the Mets have their first hit off Garza. So 2 aboard with 1 out.
I was a little remiss to mention this, but Walker did not know where the second baseman was, and I don't want to be ultra critical, but he did hesitate. Wasn't sure if that was a line drive at the second baseman. Second baseman was way up the middle. I think the ball was hit too hard for him to go first and third. But those are the little things.
So here is Duda, who last played April the 19th. He missed 18 games, played 5 games on rehab, hit a couple of home runs, and back tonight. And hits the breaking ball right at the second baseman. Should be 2. Sogard, though, a little slow getting rid of it. They still turn 2, and the inning is over. 4-6-3 double play gets Garza through the top of the second. This was very slow developing, but the Brewers turn it over. Chance to be on the field to answer Mets trivia. Just follow SNY on Twitter during the 5th inning of tonight's game. For details on how to enter the SNY 5th inning sweepstakes presented by your local Ford dealers. Domingo Santana leading off for the Brewers in the second. Santana hitting at .235. Just 24 years old. He had a really good stretch for the Brewers last year. Played in 77 games, hit .256 with 11 home runs. He has played most of the right field this year for Milwaukee.
And he's a guy that walks a lot. He's got 15 walks so far this year. Last year had 32 walks and 246 at bats. Hey, that's around 80 walks a season.
So his on-base percentage 100 points higher than his batting average. Harvey misses with the curveball, and it's 3-1. That gave up a 2-out single in the first inning. Otherwise was able to find his way through without a strikeout, and that's really becoming the norm for Matt. Jet Bandy, the catcher, is on deck. And Santana takes a walk. So good scouting report from Keith Hernandez. And Santana was on to start the bottom of the second. You knew you were such a Domingo Santana aficionado, but there you were, front and center.
I did a lot of prepping today. Always the first game of the series. You know, out of division teams that you don't know, you've got to do your homework.
Also, you've been under the weather, which I think, you know, keeps you indoors and you know.
Today's the first day I feel better.
Focuses you a little bit more. You're not out painting the town red.
Well, never when I'm sick. Oh, I was sick.
Here's Jet Bandy, the catcher. And that's drilled in left center field. Bandy with a base hit, and that'll go all the way back to the wall. Santana digging for third. He'll be waved home. And the Brewers have the early lead. Jet Bandy with an RBI double, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee.
Well, not wasting any time. First at bat, first ball, fastball inning. Ball too much over the middle, down but over the middle, and he rips it into the gap. And Curtis has a little bit of a problem off the wall. I think that Santana would have scored anyway. Pretty good speed for a big guy, long, lanky strides.
So Bandy drives in his 10th run of the year. And the Brewers have a 1-0 lead. Here's Keon Broxton, who's been red hot. Speedster hitting 7th. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Broxton over the last 17 games hitting .375 after a slow start.
The Brewers are third in stolen bases in the National League with 32, but they're next to last in caught stealing. They've been caught 12 times.
Well, they have Jonathan Villar, who led the league in steals last year. Broxton, who stole 23.5 a season last year. That's sliced down the right field line and foul.
What was the runner on second base doing? He was tagging up the whole way.
I don't think there was any chance Jay Bruce was going to catch that ball.
I like the approach by Broxton there. Got a runner on second base, nobody out. His intent was to hit the ball to the opposite field. That's good situational hitting. You do it with the intent to drive the run in. That is maximum. Minimum is you get the runner over.
Just off the corner. 1-2 to Broxton. Number 8 hitter Eric Sogard waiting on deck. And got him with a breaking ball in the outside corner. Harvey has his first strikeout of the night.
This was a strike. I think it was a changeup. It was 87 on the radar. Yeah, changeup, definitely.
You know, Tom Hallion calling the third strike. Bruce Fremming visited us in the booth before the game, and he was talking about umpires being demonstrative with their calls. And there's Tom Hallion giving it the full heave-ho on his first couple of called third strikes tonight. Here's Eric Sogard, his first at bat as a Brewer, and he takes inside.
It's a nice conversation we had with Bruce.
Sogard spent 6 years with the Oakland Athletics. Last year, didn't play in the big leagues. Had knee surgery, was out for the whole year. 30-year-old utility man. Harvey works him inside again. 2-0. We were talking earlier about Madden's strikeouts this year coming into the night. Just 5.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. Look how that number has gone down over the course of his career.
It's all about getting outs, and not enough pitching to contact in today's game.
Well, so you're saying it's by design, or rather than
I think that he's had to learn
stuff?
I think he's had to learn to pitch. I don't think he has the blazer that he used to have. And remember, he's coming off the surgery. We don't know if he'll get it back. He's certainly young enough to get it back.
But as you saw, those numbers were going down even before this most recent surgery, which I think is fascinating.
But you don't know what effect that the surgery had, the thoracic surgery had prior. You know, before it was diagnosed.
Well, last year, I think you can certainly make that case. Of course, he missed all of 2014 because of the Tommy John surgery as well. 3-1 to Sogard, and he bounces one foul.
You know, everybody's in love. The baseball lords are in love with the guys that throw 95, 97. Those guys that have movement, put the ball in play. They know how to get people out.
Two to Sogard, and it's inside ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Harvey.
Well, take a look at Matt's motion from the stretch. He's got such powerful lower body. He really drives off the mound. He's very strong from the waist down, but Seaver had that.
Dan Worthen out to talk to him. The entire infield group's around as well, with the pitcher Garza coming up, talking to Matt, but also talking about bunt defense in this spot. Garza's not a very good hitter, so you certainly have to anticipate the bunt.
Oh, there would be a bunt here. Just as sure as that truck right there on your screen. At ChevyOffers.com.
Must have a pretty good engine the way it roared. You see the numbers on Garza, who's 1 for 6 at the plate this year. A run is in. 2 walks, sandwiching a double. Bandy at second, Sogard at first with 1 out. And Garza lays off the high fastball, ball 1.
So this is the play now. I mean, it's pretty obvious. As a first baseman, you can really play aggressively in because you're not holding the back runner on. Runners on first and second. Really put the heat on that pitcher, something I like to do.
Rivera faking a throw. Really had nowhere to throw it. 1-1. The Mets do not use the wheel play.
No, they don't.
I mean, you remember back in the days of Bobby Valentine when he'd have his wheel, his fake
with Davey
wheel.
too.
I mean, but Terry Collins just likes to play straight up defense in these bunting situations. Bunt to the left side of the mound. Harvey hesitates and then gets the out at third. Matt almost second guessed himself and lost the play, but he got it there in time to Rivera for the second out.
Well, Rivera was not quite at the bag when he turned to throw. That's why he stopped. Rivera rushed back and momentarily had his back to Matt. I think that's what made him kind of hesitate. But nice recovery. Nice first baseman stretch.
So now 2 out and 2 on, and the leadoff hitter Jonathan VR. He has been a real mystery for the Brewers this year. He had a terrific year last year. He had 285, 19 homers, 369 on base percentage, led the league in stolen bases. But he's had trouble hitting. He's had base running miscues. He's struggled in the field. And VR takes outside for ball 1. Coming up, we delve a little bit into Milwaukee Brewers history as Steve Gelb talks with Gorman Thomas.
Stormin Gorman Thomas.
Great home run hitting center fielder for the 1980s Brewers.
Part of those Harvey's wall bangers.
And now Harvey, speaking of Harvey, that was Harvey Keene. This is Matt Harvey. He's behind on VR 2-0.
Harvey was like not Matt Harvey. Harvey Keene was like Long John Silver when he went out there to pull the pitcher.
You're saying that he walked the way you walk now?
Yes. I was looking for the parrot on his shoulder.
Big cut on the changeup, and it's 2-1 to VR.
Good changeup. That's been a very effective pitch for Matt. Down and on the outside corner. Great spot.
Matt already 22 pitches deep into this inning. And VR goes for the upstairs fastball. Now it's 2-2. I mentioned VR had a great year last year. He looks off balance.
He looks confused.
Yeah. Was 26 years old. And Harvey needing to get him out in a big spot here. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 to VR. And he slashes one just foul. Need the backup ball boy to make
How
the
about
play.
that? You got to tuck in your uniform.
Here's your Verizon trivia question for tonight. Jonathan VR, one of 3 players in Brewers history to lead the majors in stolen bases. Who are the other 2? I think I have one rookie of the year here way back when. Pat Listach.
Oh, I would have forgotten that. How about the center fielder of recent time? Did he lead it? Former Met?
Oh, Carlos Gomez?
Yeah. No?
Don't think so. Maybe.
Okay. And he was. What happened to him?
I
He was all everything.
Wasn't Tommy Harper here at the end of his career?
So you can go back as far, you can go with the Brewers when they were in the American League.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Franchise, it goes back to the Seattle Pilots.
Right.
That was how the franchise began in '69. Then they moved here in '70. And then they moved to the National League in '98.
Those Seattle Pilots, of course, were all part of that famous book by Jim Bouton, Ball 4.
Upstairs to VR in the full count.
Joe Schultz was the man.
Yes, he was. He was very colorful. Something about tomatoes.
That was a wonderful book.
Now the runners will be in motion. Sogard at second. The pitcher Garza running at first. 3-2 and 2 out. Harvey about to throw his 27th pitch of the inning. And VR tops one up the first baseline. And Harvey waits for it to roll foul, and it finally does.
Wise move.
And VR can fly going down the line. And even though he hesitated coming out of the batter's box, Harvey did the right thing.
Got a little help from the lip in the grass that pushed it foul. Come on, get there, get there. And as soon as the kids out there, as soon as that ball gets in foul territory, grab it. Don't wait around it. The second it's in foul territory, put your hand or your glove on it.
Are you in favor of grabbing or swatting it?
Never swat, because you never know what the umpire might make, calling might make. But normally they get that right.
Then you have a ball rolling away somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. But normally they don't miss that one.
You know, it's not reviewable.
It is. It's not. That's right.
Fair foul call on the infield.
I knew that.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat to VR. And it's inside low ball 4. 3 walks in the inning for Harvey, and now the bases are loaded for Eric Thames. So Matt has put himself squarely into trouble.
Yes, he did, and he's going to kick himself for that. Taking a step back behind the mound on the infield grass just to collect himself. Now he's got a tough out here.
Eric Thames, who in his 3 years in Korea hit 124 home runs for the NC Dinos, and has hit 13 home runs in his first year back in the big leagues. And he bats with the bases loaded and 2 out. Moment of truth for Harvey. And he bounces the first pitch fastball. Ball 1.
That was kind of choked that ball.
He's had a few of those early in this game.
It's always a little bit different when the ducks are on the pond, as they say, for a pitcher. You always want to find out how they pitch in a spot, tough spot. Good slider.
He got Thames to chase it. One of the things that characterized Thames as he made the transition to Korea and then back to the big leagues is that he has become a much more patient hitter, chasing far fewer pitches. That he looked at videos of Barry Bonds in his heyday to get an idea of how to lay off the pitches out of the strike zone.
I think he was going 1-0, going for the downs there.
Yep.
Why not?
He lifts this one along the line and will slice away and go foul beyond the reach of Conforto and into the seats. 1-2. By the way, that is an enormous elbow guard. I thought elbow guards of that size have been eradicated.
That is a big one. Looks like a Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator.
Well, it also is fitting over some enormous arms.
Yes, I don't think I'd want to tangle with him. Not at my age.
1-2 coming. And with the runner halfway between third and home, he can do that because Cabrera, the only infielder on the left side, is playing so far off the line. Yep. So Sogard took a big liberty, came 50 feet down the line.
Well, you can come down even further because a pass ball or a wild pitch, you can walk home. Absolutely, Gary. Yep.
That's the consequence of the shift.
And Matt just has to not even pay any attention to him.
2-2 to Thames. And he fouls away that fastball. 95 from Harvey.
Well, Thames takes a big cut. And he's got a power swing.
There's Sogard strolling down that third baseline as far as he wants. Again, the 2-2. Got him.
Up and in.
Harvey strikes out Thames, and the Brewers leave him loaded. So Harvey, when he really needed it, came up and in with the fastball and got Thames to go around. Second strikeout of the inning for Harvey. And the Brewers get just the 1 run. 1-0 Milwaukee after 2. Gorman Thomas was a guy from South Carolina who became one of the most popular players in Milwaukee Brewers history. Played 11 years for the Brewers. Led the American League in home runs twice while wearing a Milwaukee uniform. 268 home runs in his career as he patrolled center field for the Brewers. There's some of the particulars on Gorman Thomas, who swung hard, hit home runs, struck out, and Gorman Thomas is standing by with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Thanks a lot, Gary. Yeah, this is a really special treat. Gorman, appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. And, you know, listen, we'll get to your Brewers days in a second here, but this is a Mets broadcast, and you were telling me off air an incredible story from when you were playing at Shea Stadium back in the day, even though you only played in the American League, but the Yankees were using Shea Stadium.
Which one do you want me to start with?
Hank Aaron.
All right, Hank Aaron. We were there, obviously, because the Yankees stadium was being renovated. Someone told me about this gentleman who was a legendary photographer and what his reactions were if you did certain things. So Hank was with us his first year back here. The gentleman with the camera kind of got up close to him and was doing a close-up. Happened to kind of walk behind him and gave a little touch. He jumps and swings at Hank, because what he did was that anytime anybody touched his posterior, he slapped the person in front of him. So he did that. Hank was in shock, like, what? And then all of a sudden both of them took off running, and I had to join the chase as well. But yep, yeah, Shea was an entertaining place to be that night.
So you got a photographer to hit Hank Aaron at Shea Stadium. That's what you were able to do.
I am pleading the fifth, but I happened to, yeah, I saw it in person. It really happened.
All right, another Mets connection is with the guy in the booth right now, Keith Hernandez. You played in the 1982 World Series, a 7-game series against his Cardinals, who won at the time. What do you remember about that series, and in particular, Keith Hernandez?
Well, obviously, he was a fabulous first baseman. He's also one of the guys that, in my era, or our era, that didn't have batting gloves. You know, that's a rarity. But anyway, it was a great series, 7 games. We actually had the game won on a certain pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think it was Hendricks, I'm not really sure, but strike 3, and they will struck the ball. Next pitch, off the end of the bat, 97 hopper between first and second, and they scored a couple runs and they beat us.
Keith, do you agree with that?
Yeah, George got the go-ahead hit there after my hit that tied the game off. Bob McClure.
Don't you talk bad about me.
No, he's agreeing.
Okay.
I'm agreeing, absolutely.
Fine. I don't know about that beard, man.
Anyway, so Rene Rivera on first with a single right there. But you were, as they mentioned, one of the most popular players in Milwaukee Brewers history. You were actually the first-round pick of this franchise back when they were the Pilots. But this is another great story. You almost didn't have the opportunity to get drafted because scouts that came to see you in high school, they didn't know that you had kind of gotten kicked off the team when they came to see you.
Yes, being a little Irish and in me, I used to have a temper, and it was our high school rivalry, and they were chirping because the scouts were coming to the games to see if I was, worth drafting, and I didn't pay any attention to it because I'd already signed a football scholarship to go to Florida State. So long story short, here we are, we're playing against our nemesis, and they were getting on me pretty good, and finally I hit the first one, hit the second one. Third one says, you hit me, we'll fight. I hit him, and then the fourth one came up and I drilled him. So I got kicked off the team for about a week, and then later on, the scouts were interested in seeing what I could do, and they couldn't see me not play. So from what I understand is they passed the hat, took up a collection. Somehow or another, it found a home in the hand of the powers to be, and I would take extra batting practice, extra infield, and also pitched to see if I was worth the slot. And so it turned out okay.
Yeah, it did turn out okay. And I wonder, when you, as an older guy who watches, a guy who played for so long, who watches how the game is nowadays, you were almost ahead of the curve. You were an all-or-nothing guy, strikeouts or a home run as Harvey grounds to the double play. But that's what we see a lot now. High strikeout totals, high home run totals. What do you think of when you see the game nowadays?
Well, it's like anything else. It evolves into its own thing, its own situation. each and every year. I mean, you know, we've got the designated hitter. You know, we have, let's just go out and say it, you know, they're kind of home run friendly fields. You've got now players who are bigger, stronger. Pitchers supposedly throw harder. You know, Keith will tell you, it doesn't matter how hard you throw, it's where you throw it. So, I mean, we'll do the sequence with Harvey when he was getting out of the inning last. So, you know, it changes. It's better, I think, when it releases someone needs. Don't hit him in the head, but it's things like the devil in the middle of small of your back. And Keith, you'll know about that too, I'm sure, because he didn't wear a flap. I did. I never got hit in the head. My helmet got hit, but I wasn't there. I'd already left the premises. But you know what? These takeout slides at second base, you know, it's up to the person who did it and the one who received it to handle it the way they want. If you're going to do it right away. Don't set somebody up, because I'm telling you this, the way I remember it, we hit 3 consecutive home runs in New York one day against the Yankees. Simmons, Cooper, and Ben Ogilvy, all right? I'm the 4th one coming up. Now I know I'm getting drilled, right? Slow curveball, strike 1. Slow curveball, strike 2. Now I figure, sure, I'm getting drilled now, right? Slow curveball, strike 3. I'm screaming at him, next time hit me, you gutless so-and-so. But, you know, and one other thing about New York, the Ephus pitch, I hear that a lot. And Dave LaRoche threw it. I asked the catcher why. He said he wanted to, blah, blah, blah. And after I struck out that one time, I threw the helmet up, broke it into 1,000 pieces, and the guy says, best contact you had all night.
Storm and Gorman Thomas, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here at New York broadcast.
Thanks for being here.
Gary, Keith, back to you.
He is some character, isn't he?
He should be like around a teepee doing one of the elders doing the folklore, handed down by generations, the baseball lore.
Glad he kept it somewhat G-rated. Conforto grounds one into the shift. VR is there to play it. Then that gets Garza through the 3rd. Mets have grounded into a couple of double plays already tonight. Garza's got himself a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Milwaukee, Wisconsin on a cool Friday evening in May. Temperature in the 50s outside. Tonight's quote of the game presented by Investors Bank, banking in your best interest. And the quotes are from Gorman Thomas. In center field, you're the driver in a Grand Prix race, and right, you're a mechanic. They come to see me strike out, hit a home run, or run into a fence. And he did that with fairly solid regularity. Hernan Perez leads off the home 3rd against Matt Harvey, who had himself quite the slog through the 2nd. Matt threw 34 pitches in the second inning, gave up just 1 run, walked 3, and then struck out Eric Thames with the bases loaded to get out of it. And now he's 2-1 to Perez to start the third. Travis Shaw on deck, and then Domingo Santana for the Brewers in the third. Milwaukee a game over 500. They're at 18-17. They lost the finale of their series yesterday to the Red Sox after winning the first 2. They have been slugging. They lead the National League in home runs. And they've been pitching well enough, although their closer has been struggling.
Well, they lost a big piece, though, in their left fielder, Ryan Braun, on the DL today. So that's going to affect their power numbers. They have 55 home runs to be exact, which leads the National League. They're 5th in runs scored.
That's slammed out to right field, chasing Bruce back to the track at the wall. It's out of here. Hernan Perez with an opposite field home run. His 5th home run of the season. And now it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, pitch up and away. A little bit of a leg kick. Ball carries here. It's a hitter-friendly park. What new? Matt had kind of a look of disbelief.
The home runs have been flying far too often for Matt Harvey's liking this year.
So not a lot of drive from the legs. Just a lot of upper body there, which we see a lot today. Players are lifting and they're stronger.
Matt Harvey's now allowed 8 home runs this year in 37 innings. That's a lot. Last year he allowed 8 in 92 innings before his season was cut short. He's always been a guy who has kept the ball in the ballpark, but not so far this year. 1-2 to Shaw, and this is up and in. And now a full count. Has already walked 3 today. Struck out 2. Domingo Santana on deck, and Shaw with a late swing foul.
Shaw's another big, strong kid. He's thick.
And he goes down swinging on the fastball up and in. Same pitch that got Thames in the last inning.
I
and
think
Harvey has his 3rd strikeout.
Good, very perceptive, Gary, of you. And that pitch upstairs, Matt's got to use it. Out of the strike zone. It's obviously got some life up there. Use it. Uh-oh. What was that?
It's an angry hitter.
Oh, geez, got like your double home run call.
Santana tops one foul. Well, we've seen some rather strenuous reactions from Brewers hitters.
Yes.
Thames threw his helmet about 50
and
feet
his bat
after he struck out in the last inning, and now Shaw using language not fit for air. Popped up, shallow right center, over the shoulder. Walker can't get there. Bruce, I don't think saw it.
He didn't
enough, and it falls in. Walker was racing out there hoping to make a play, but he couldn't get there, and Bruce did not get a good read on it. Not sure if he lost it in the lights or what.
He had it because he broke in. Then he seemed to have lost it.
Yep. From that gesture, it certainly appears as though he did not see it at some point. So it's a pop fly single for Santana. He's on base for the 2nd time. And now Jet Bandy, who drove Santana in with a double to left center. The Brewers have 2 young catchers in Jet Bandy and Manny Pena, who have basically split the playing time. and both have done well. And so Craig Counsell plans to continue exactly what he's doing. Bandy played with the Angels last year. And he's off to a good start. .531 slugging percentage coming into the night. This lineup's got pop in a lot of different places. A late swing foul. That one almost went into the Brewers dugout. Might have done some damage had it. 1-1.
What I've seen of the Brewers so far, they are really protecting the plate. And very vulnerable inside.
Below the knees, 2-1. Braun placed on the disabled list today. Had a forearm injury, and then he came up with a calf issue, so he's dealing with both those things and put him on the 10-day DL. The rest 2-2 now to Bandy. Night game tomorrow, a little bit earlier, 7 o'clock Eastern. Robert Gsellman goes for the Mets, Zach Davies for the Brewers, and then Sunday afternoon, Jacob deGrom and Willie Peralta. And then the Mets go to Arizona for 3 games, where they will run into Zach Greinke, who pitched himself a gem last night for the Diamondbacks. 8 innings, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts, had a no-hitter going into the 8th. Two coming, and Bandy takes it high in another full count. So Harvey using a ton of pitches early in this game. Keon Broxton, the on-deck batter. 3-2 and 1 out. Santana, average speed at first.
He's got 4 stolen bases. He might be running.
And he's not. Bandy gets a hold of another one to left center, but this time it's playable for Conforto, and that's the second out. I'm not sure if Michael was a little bit further toward the gap that time than he was.
He didn't have far to run for that ball.
Yeah.
And he was playing deep. And I think you should play deep here. This is a ball that the ball travels here. And Harvey got in on the hands enough with that pitch to Bandy.
You know, when you hear the name Bandy, you think banjo hitter, but he's not.
That gets bandied around.
Oh, very nice. Here's Keon Broxton with 2 out and a runner at first. Broxton took a call third strike his first time, and Santana back to the bag. Interestingly, this is only the second time Matt Harvey has ever faced the Milwaukee Brewers. First time was last year here when he pitched one of his better games of last season.
Got a no decision.
But 6 innings, 1 run, 2 hits in a year that was not a productive one for him. It's strange that he had never faced them before that. But when you play only 2 series a year against the team, there's every chance you can miss them.
Nice. Nice changeup right there from Matt. Kept it away. I'm not of the camp that you throw a fastball inside to a hitter. I mean, a changeup, excuse me. It's an off-speed pitch. You keep it down and away.
He struck Broxton out his first time up. And he strikes him out again. So Harvey with his 4th strikeout. He gives up the home run to Perez, leading off the inning. But a couple of strikeouts follow. 2-0 Milwaukee after 3. Matt Garza's gotten the benefit of ground ball double plays each of the last 2 innings. They'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Mets order in the 4th.
Second run through the lineup. Very effective changeup right there. Threw it, led it off. First pitch to Cabrera.
As Dribble took a call, 3rd strike. A 10-pitch at bat. He got called out on a fastball that was either at or just below the knees. The only strikeout for Garza so far tonight. Ball and a strike to Dribble with Jay Bruce on deck. And then Neil Walker for the Mets in the 4th. And the curveball misses. 2 balls and a strike. And Garza came out of Fresno State, first-round pick by the Minnesota Twins in 2005. That's where he began. Then went to Tampa Bay, where he had his best years. Now in his 4th year with Milwaukee. Grounded foul. 2-2. Garza so far this year in his first 3 starts has been very vulnerable against the left-hand hitters, but it's a small sample size, and for his career he's been pretty much the same lefties and righties, but the numbers through his first 3 starts this year were stark. 346 against the lefties, 209 against the righties, but looks like that's due to even out. 2 hits he's given up today have both been to right-hand batters. Of course, the Mets present a greater percentage of left-hand hitters than any other team in baseball, particularly with Duda now back in the lineup. Six left-hand hitters today, including the switch hitters. 3-2 coming, and Cabrera pops one up into right center field, and Santana's there. 1 out. Let's check in with Steve Gelbs. His report tonight is brought to you by Volkswagen.
Well, Gary, we saw in that last half inning Jay Bruce seemingly have an inability to find that baseball in the lights. We'll have to ask him about that play after the game today. But here's one thing to keep in mind. Earlier this season, Freddie Freeman was in here with the Braves, and after one of the games, he said that he thought Miller Park was like a badly lit Little League field. He can't see anything in here, I believe was the quote, and is happy that it was only a 3-game series. So something to watch for, how these guys handle when the dome is closed, when the roof is closed, the lighting inside.
Well, as long as you can see the ball up at the plate. They got a nice background. All the parks today have nice backdrops, and there you see below the scoreboard there the black backdrop, obviously the contrast of white and black, so you can pick up the ball.
Bruce grounds one right at the shortstop. Sogard playing on the right side. So that's a 6-3 put out, 2 out. Well, I know Keith and I sitting here in the booth have been talking to each other about that sometimes it's a little hard to see the baseball.
Yes, it seems dim in here, does it not?
Yeah, a little dimmer than in most dome stadiums.
You know, an old Stade Olympique in Montreal, the dome, that was a very difficult park for me to see the ball when I hit. That's Olympic Stadium. I was just being a little francais for you folks. The seats were yellow and green. They had green AstroTurf, green fence, and they had the lights were a yellowish tint.
Walker gets a hold of one deep to right. Forget that. That is way out of here. Way back in the second deck. Neil Walker with a tremendous home run, his 3rd of the year to get the Mets on the board. That is as long a home run, I think, as we've seen Neil hit in a Mets uniform. And it puts a run on the board for New York and cuts the Brewers lead to 2-1.
Number 3 on the year for Neil. And let's see, it's got to be down the pipe, and he is right on it. And boy,
that almost went out of the second deck.
That was a bomb.
Curtis Granderson takes a curveball for a strike.
Those feel good.
So Walker has now hit 3 home runs, all as a left-hand batter. For last year, he had a spate of home runs early, batting right-handed.
Well, we don't have the technology, folks, to give you the exit velocity on that ball, but
somebody does.
I don't really care. He killed it.
So you're saying the qualitative "he killed it" is better for you than the quantitative of a particular number?
Yes. As we like to say when we played, he hit the dog out of that. And that's not anything.
Now you're not anti-dog or
no,
anything.
I've had dogs, and I have a 14-year-old cat. I love animals.
Granderson couldn't hold up that strike 3. And Garza has his second strikeout of the night. But the Mets get their first run of the night on one enormous blast off the bat of Neil Walker. His 3rd home run of the year. And it's 2-1 Milwaukee as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Eric Sogard leads off the last of the 4th for Milwaukee. Sogard drew a walk his first time up from Matt Harvey. There were 3 batters that Matt walked in the 2nd inning. When the Brewers got their first run, they added one on an Hernan Perez home run in the 3rd. Neil Walker's home run cutting the Milwaukee lead in half. And now Matt's behind the number 8 hitter again, 3-0. Pitcher Garza on deck.
Sorry, Gary. Go ahead. Take your chances here. You got to just throw 3 straight fastballs to the 8 hitter. No free passes.
There's one.
Okay. Do it again.
And that was not 2. Instead it was ball 4. 4th walk given up by Harvey. Word ahead presented by Buick. Night game tomorrow on Pix 11 starts an hour earlier at 2 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday for the final game of the series. Also on Pix, back on SNY Monday night from Chase Field in Phoenix, when the Mets open their series against the Diamondbacks. And it's Keith the rest of the road trip.
Ronnie's got 2 weekends off in a row. How did he get that? He must have took Kurt out to dinner.
Well, he'll be there Friday night when we get home. There's Garza, and the Mets will look for the bunt. Garza bunted into a force play his first time up.
Both corner infielders very aggressively charging. Always like to see it.
And Garza pulls the bat back. The runner goes, and Sogard is safe at second base. So the Brewers changed up, and Sogard steals the bag.
And it's a case where if you vacate too early, a smart base runner is going to take the base. And that was a great camera angle right there. You saw Duda vacate, complete charge. It's usually should be, I don't know if the Mets do this today, but with me, I'm a right-hander. When I break home, throw home.
That's the second time in a week that we've seen an opposing base runner do that. Miguel Rojas did it with T.J. Rivera playing first base last Friday night.
Now watch Duda go. That's way too early, and that's just heads up on Sogard's part there.
Now it's 1-2 to Garza, and he stabs at it, strike three.
That's a big break right there.
Fifth strikeout for Harvey. And that's the first out of the inning. Now Matt will start his third time through the batting order as Jonathan VR comes up. VR has hit a comebacker and drawn a walk 0 for 1. The Mets 1 run 3 hits. The Brewers 2 runs 4 hits. And Rivera trudging out to talk to Harvey again. So what do you say we take the moment to answer our Verizon trivia question? Jonathan VR led the majors in steals last year. Who are the other players in Brewers franchise history?
Oh,
it was Tommy Harper for the Pilots in '69.
Nice call. I never would have thought of Sednick. That's an old name to bring back, huh?
Yeah, he was
with the Dodgers, right?
Well, he was with the White Sox in '05 when they won the World Series. Hit a home run in the World Series to win a game. So now VR, and he pops it up. T.J. Rivera takes charge of it, and that's the second out. So now it's Eric Thames. This was his last at bat.
Well, this was a really nice pitch there. He leads him off with a changeup in the dirt, slider down and in, bad, 1-1. Now hangs one away. And there's the pitch right there where he had a good cut on the ball away, and he was protecting the plate, and he recognized that and came up and in and got him.
So Thames is 0 for 2, fly ball, and then that strikeout with the bases full. And he takes a slider inside for ball 1. Sogard walked and stole second. He's still there with 2 out. To it over Thames.
There you go. Ryan Zimmerman, of course, leading the league in hitting.
Thames has cooled down a little. He had 11 in April, only 2 so far in May. Those 11 were the most any Brewer had ever had in April. This is a home run hitting franchise. And the 2-0 curveball misses, and now it's 3-0 with first base open. Harvey taking no chances against Thames. Although the guy on deck, Hernan Perez, is already 2 for 2 and took Harvey deep the last time, and now they're going to give Thames intentional ball 4.
I can't get used to the automatic on this.
No,
I can't get used to it.
That's 5 walks now for Harvey, including the intentional pass.
Another brilliant move.
So now it's Perez who singled to center in the first, and then on a 3-1 fastball drove an opposite field home run in the third, his 5th of the year. Matt has already thrown 80 pitches. We're not yet through the 4th inning. Sogard at second, Thames at first. 5 walks will build your pitch count in a hurry. Well, last year, Met pitchers, particularly their starters, didn't walk anybody. And this year, DeGrom has had walk issues. Harvey's had walk issues. It's not what you expect. takes one just off the plate, 1-1.
Well, interesting. Perez 2 for 2 off Harvey today. Opposite field home run. Matt let him off inside for a strike.
Ground ball for Cabrera, makes the flip to Walker, and that retires the side. So Harvey pitches around trouble in the 4th. Brewers leave 2 more. They've already left 7. Still going strong, 82 years old, still calling Brewer games night after night and making everybody who knows him and gets to listen to him guffaw because he's one of the funniest human beings on earth. And of course, he is the great Bob Uecker.
It certainly is.
And they've got the seats up there, the Uecker seats.
What a wonderful career he's had. You know, a backup catcher, and turned his post baseball life. There's Bob. His post-playing day life, remarkable accomplishments, achievements.
TJ Rivera leads off for the Mets in the 5th and takes a curveball for a strike. TJ had a base hit to right field his first time up. He just keeps on hitting. TJ leading off in the 5th. Lucas Duda on deck, then Rene Rivera. If you're a Met and your last name is Rivera, you rarely make outs these days. The raging Riveras. I mean, Rene is having as good a stretch as any Met catcher has had since Mike Piazza. Well, getting hits and driving in runs. Maybe not the power, Gary.
But you know, fan you a little bit.
You know what I'm saying. He's hot. I'm not saying he's going to keep it up, but heat is heat. You should go fan
He's
Rene.
doing great.
Yes, yes. See?
He's doing fantastic.
And it's a good time for it with Travis d'Arnaud on the disabled list, just as TJ Rivera took advantage of his chance to play with Duda out. And he bounces one down to third, and a nice short hop grab by Shaw. And he makes the play. Do or die grab for Travis Shaw for the first out.
That's a tough chance right there. Couldn't get the short hop, but got in enough. Those are split-second decisions. No hesitation for him to charge that ball.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Lucas Duda, who swung at the first pitch he saw in the big leagues in 3 weeks and grounded into a double play his first time up. Well, with Cespedes out of the lineup, having Duda back certainly adds to the Mets' power quotient. Mets have been doing a far better job over the last few weeks since Cespedes and Duda have been out of scoring runs without the home run ball. But it's always nice to have that 30 home run bat in the lineup.
Well, the one thing about the home run hitters is they can, when you're down 3, 4, 5 runs, they can get you back in it with one swing.
Even with the people that the Mets have been missing, Cespedes out the last 3 weeks, Duda out the last 3 weeks, they're still third in the league in home runs. So they've got plenty of pop. Conforto and Bruce have been carrying their weight with the long ball. And Lucas swings at that inside fastball, 2-2. And he tries to hold, but he went around, strike 3. Punched out by Vic Carapazza, the third base umpire, and that's the third strikeout of the night for Garza.
Yeah, I guess he did. I'm always a little partial to the hitters. So when I go vote against them, it's probably a swing.
It's a secret ballot, Keith. Here's Rene Rivera. So with Rene's base hit his first time up today, he is now 13 for his last 26 over a 7-game hitting streak. So this is the Piazza reference from Elias. Coming into the night, 12 hits, 6 RBIs in his last 6 games. No Met catcher had done that in a 6-game span since Piazza in 2003.
Wow, that long ago. When did Mike retire?
Well, last year
when did he leave the Mets?
Last year with the Mets was 04.
Because I remember when he was a Padre.
Right.
I remember that home run he hit.
Right. He came back in 05.
In San Diego. I remember it well.
He had 2 home runs that day.
I remember one in particular.
Oh, you're talking about the one in San Diego?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that too.
2006, I believe it was.
2006, first year of SNY.
Yes, it was.
Very early in your tenure and nearly the end of your tenure.
Put the SNY on the map.
Lucky you didn't put you in the unemployment line. 2-1 from Garza, and Rene fouls it off 2-2. Time now for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. I've sent Keith off on a coughing jag. The Cardinals just finished a 6-0 road trip, their first road trip in team history in which they won every game. That goes back to 1892. Meanwhile, the Braves have gone the other way. Worst record in the National League, East now at 11-20.
Well, really, if you look at the National League East, it's kind of shaping up as everybody forecasted.
Well,
basically a 2-horse race, but with the end, you don't know what's going on from this point on. But everybody's falling at the wayside.
Well, the second horse, that would be the Mets. They're just trying to stay afloat with all the injuries.
You just cannot predict injuries in the course of the season.
Meanwhile, the Nats are afloat in a different way. They got rained out again tonight, as they did yesterday.
It's going to mean a lot of doubleheaders second time around.
They were scheduled to play the Phillies today, right? Yesterday they were scheduled to play the Orioles. They've already had to find a mutual off day to make that up next month. And Rene goes down on the fastball to end the inning. So back-to-back strikeouts for Garza. He has a 1-2-3 top of the 5th. Halfway through at Miller Park, 2-1 Milwaukee. Travis Shaw leads off against Matt Harvey. Shaw is 0 for 2, flied out and struck out. Harvey with a high pitch count, hoping to get through 5. And quickly ahead on Shaw, 0-2. Domingo Santana on deck, and then Jet Bandy for the Brewers in the 5th. And Shaw pops one up. Retreating Cabrera. In comes Conforto, and it's Conforto to call.
That's 2 that there's been a little bit of confusion between Cabrera and Conforto.
Well, you say it's easy to catch. Well, it's not so easy to catch because, you know, you come up as a hitter, you foul the ball off your knee, and then you have to go get yourself ready to catch again.
Well, one of the things the coaches always looked at in the minor leagues, and they tried to instill in you, and even on the major league level, and that's what they looked for, is you got to separate your offense from your defense. If you have a bad day, you got to play defense. You can help your team with the glove.
But it's got to be harder for a catcher than for somebody playing another position with all the other responsibilities involved, right?
Well, that's why it's very rare a catcher is a batting champion. I mean, they get wear and tear. They have more responsibility. They got to call a game as well. I mean, all I had to do was go out to my position at first base, and I'd always tell myself the situation. The ball's hit to me. What am I going to do with it? The catcher has got to go out there and figure out how to get the hitters out, call a game, and also pump up his pitchers.
1-2 to Santana, and just off the plate, 2-2. Jet Bandy on deck. Santana's been on base twice with a walk and a bloop single. And that one sails to the backstop, and that's not the first time we've seen that.
No.
That glove side implosion from Harvey, missing so badly to that side of the plate.
He's missed badly, but I tell you what, this is a good start. I feel thus far. I think he's got good pop on his fastball. The home run to the opposite field was not a bad pitch.
.93 pitches already for Matt. 3-2 to Santana, and it's in there. Strike 3 called. Strikeout number 6 for Harvey. 2 out.
Good changeup right here. Matt has used it just the right amount. Not falling in love with it.
Well, now he's got a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night as he takes on the Brewers catcher Jet Bandy. Bandy drove in the first Milwaukee run with a double to left center in the second. Then he flied out in the third. 1 for 2. Brewers 2 runs 4 hits. The Mets 1 run 3 hits. And ball 1 to Bandy. And fouled away. 1-1. Harvey is due to lead off for the Mets in the top of the 6th. So this could very well be the end of the line for him.
I hope not. Down a run. Pitcher's throwing a good game. Give him a chance to win.
Well, of course, the other side of that is that the Mets are now a different team in their bullpen than they were the last time we convened.
That's true. And you're right. It's close to 100 pitches. But
on the backhand, Cabrera, and the throw gets Bandy easily, and so Harvey has his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. And we'll see whether he gets more. But a good 5th for Harvey. 2-1 Milwaukee. All right, Eamon. Flowers also has his first home run of the year in that game. Meanwhile, here's Matt Harvey with a bat in his hands. 98 pitches deep through 5 innings, but looks like he'll get another go-round as he leads off in the top of the 6th against Matt Garza. Matt failed to get a bunt down, then grounded into a double play in the 3rd in his only at bat, looking for his first hit of the season. He's gone 0 for 14 to date. When Matt first came up, he was pretty adept with the bat.
Well, I think they figured out he could swing it, and they weren't going to. They pitched him tough. I'm not going to lay it in for him anymore. Once every 5th day hitting is not an easy task.
Broken back grounder past the mound, and Sogard behind the bag throws out Harvey, 1 away. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience with the MLB.com at Bat app. Get New York Mets home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today. So 1 out in the top of the 6th, and now Matt Garza will start his 3rd time through the batting order. Michael Conforto 0 for 2 tonight, flied out and grounded out. Mets have had just 3 hits, including Neil Walker's home run in the 4th for their only run against Garza. And the curveball pulled, foul. Just foul. Garza making just his 4th start of the year after beginning the season on the disabled list with a groin injury, and he's been good. Last start in Pittsburgh last Saturday, he allowed just 1 run over 7 innings, and here is allowed just 1 run over 5 1/3. Trying to put together a year that will get him his next contract. It's in the final year of the 4-year free agent deal he signed with the Brewers. Ball and a strike to Conforto. Garza, 33 years old. He's a little less demonstrative on the mound than he once was. Does a lot of cheerleading in the dugout, though, that's for sure. Too high to Conforto, 2-1.
If you show a good eye at the plate, you force the pitcher to make pitches, you can get ahead in the count. Conforto is not chasing, getting himself in good hitting counts. Ooh, what a
good
rip.
Swing at that fastball.
That was a rip. That was a fastball down the pipe right there. A little bit under. A little bit of a drop of the back shoulder. Right on it.
Brewers in the full shift against Conforto. So strange. You get 2 teams back to back, the Giants and then the Brewers, who see the same charts and yet choose to play the hitters so differently. Giants play more straight up, and Brewers far more shifts. Breaking ball hit in the air to center. Broxton back to the warning track. Back at the wall. He makes the catch right at the yellow line at the top of the fence. Conforto didn't miss by much. Broxton, though, had it all the way. 2 out.
Boy, he sure did. He made it look easy. He gets to the wall quickly.
Might not have gone out of the ballpark.
It would not have gone out.
But it was going to be pretty close to dead central.
No. That cylindrical bat and spherical object being thrown at you. It's hard to square it up.
That's how you get that pained look on your face.
Yes. That's why 300 is outstanding.
So Garza's retired 6 in a row since the Walker home run, and now Cabrera.
It's just a long fly ball.
Cabrera, after not starting the last 4 games, tonight has struck out and flied out in his first 2 at-bats. To his dribble, and he laces one into left center for a base hit. Over goes Broxton, sliding, kicks it. Cabrera will try for 2, and he slides in safely. So as dribble Cabrera with a 2-strike hit, and he legs it into a double.
Well, Cabrera has been pulling a little bit too much, but I like this 2-strike approach. It's not a bad pitch. Look at him, just shoulders in, going right with the pitch, and driving that ball into the gap and hustling around first. Gets himself a double.
Well, he had it in front of him, so when he saw that ball trickle away from Broxton momentarily, he turned on the jets. So that puts the tying run in scoring position with 2 out. Jay Bruce coming up. Bruce got all the way to the plate, and now he does not like the feel of his bat. Don't know if it's broken or not, but he's going to go back for a new one.
Interesting. Well, he's 0 for 2 with that bat, and maybe change his luck.
Look for one with some hits in it. Jay has grounded out twice. Both times to the right side, and they'll overshift him again and leave that shortstop hole open. So the Mets have the tying run in scoring position with 2 out. Russo leads the team in RBIs with 26, a chance to get 1 home here. Jay's hitting .379 this year with runners in scoring position. In fact, the Mets as a team have done a remarkable job, considering that last year they were historically bad at driving in runners in scoring position. This year hitting .320 as a team, nearly 100 points higher than last year, despite the fact that their team overall batting average is about the same as it was last year. And Bruce takes a fastball for a strike. See, the Mets, who were at the bottom last year, are at the top this year. And it's one of the reasons why they've been able to score more runs without the benefit of the home run, especially over the last few weeks. Cabrera at second and 2 out, and Bruce takes a breaking ball in the dirt. Bandy can't find it, and Cabrera will walk over to third. The ball crawled up Bandy's arm, went over his back, and by the time he found it, Cabrera was standing on third.
Well, he tries to backhand it instead of smothering it, getting in front. There's the ball off your shoulder.
So it's a wild pitch charge to Garza, putting the tying run at third with 2 out. Josh Edgin up in the Mets bullpen.
Oh, that shortstop hole is wide open.
And Bruce pops one foul down the third baseline. Shaw racing back, but can't get to it. And now it's 0-2, 1-2 to Jay. Now they're bandying it about.
Huh.
Bruce has 3 home runs in his career against Garza. He's had 35 at bats against Matt Garza. He's hitting .350 against him. So he's got a pretty good idea of what to expect. But down in the count here, 1-2, with the tying run at third and 2 out. Now 2-2. Neil Walker, who homered for the Mets' only run tonight, is on deck. Two from Garza to Bruce. Inside, full count. Cabrera doubled, moved to third on the wild pitch. Shaw playing over in the shortstop position so Cabrera can get as far off the bag as he wants. 3-2 coming, and Bruce lays off the curveball for ball 4. And now the Mets have runners at the corners with 2 down, and Neil Walker coming up.
Well, it's pick your poison here. 2 left-hand hitters back-to-back, actually 3 back-to-back.
Second walk given up by Garza tonight. There's the Jeep Mets box score. Walker's home run accounting for the only run. A couple of hits by Rivera's and one by Cabrera. And that's been all the offense tonight. But now the Mets with a 2-out opportunity here in the 6th with Walker, who's walked and homered tonight. The home run went to the back of the second deck in right field, his 3rd of the year. Action begins in the Brewers bullpen behind Garza, who's up to 88 pitches for the night. Remember that Harvey led off the inning for the Mets at 5 innings and 98 pitches. Jared Hughes first man up in the Milwaukee bullpen. So here's Walker with 1st and 3rd and 2 down. And Neal takes a slider high for ball 1. Garza has walked 2. He struck out 4, given up 1 run and 4 hits. And he misses outside with a changeup, 2-0.
Well, 2 secondary pitches as a hitter in an RBI situation in a tight game. Here we are, kind of middle of the game, towards the latter part of the game. He misses 2 secondary pitches, 2-0. You're in the driver's seat.
Well, he was very careful with Bruce. Threw him a 3-2 breaking ball. I wonder if he'll be as careful with Walker, with Granderson, who has struggled so badly, waiting on deck. And he's setting up inside. And Walker laces one. Base hit. That'll tie up the game. Cabrera comes in to score. Neil Walker has driven in both Mets runs. It's now a 2-2 game in the 6th.
Well, got himself on a good hitting count here. Didn't fish for the 2 secondary pitches. Got a 2-0 count. Gets the base hit here. Come inside. Good pitch, too. Got it in. Maybe bled a little bit out over the plate.
Just enough to get it over the glove of Sogard, who's not very tall. And it's a good thing for Walker as he drives in his 2nd run of the night and the Mets' 2nd run of the night. 18 RBIs for the season for Walker, who continues to excel with runners in scoring position. So all of this after 2 out and nobody on. Cabrera doubled, took 3rd on the wild pitch. Bruce walked, and now Walker with the 2-out RBI hit. Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, was out at the mound to talk to Garza before he pitches to Granderson. Granderson is 0 for 2 tonight. He's popped to short and struck out. So the Mets, who were down 2-0, have gotten back even. And now Granderson with the go-ahead run in scoring position. "20 pitches in this inning for Garza, 91 for the night. Bruce at 2nd, Walker at 1st. And Granderson takes a fastball for a strike. Curtis trying to find his way out of the wilderness. Throw down to 2nd by Bandy, and Bruce is picked off. Sogard got the tag down, and Bruce is picked off to end the inning. Well, you had the shortstop playing right behind the bag, and Bandy, the young catcher, came up throwing, and Bruce couldn't get the hand back in.
And a perfect throw right to the bag.
So the Mets get even, but losing out on the bases. Walker with his 2nd RBI hit of the night, but Bruce picked off. It's a 2-2 game in the 6th.
of Fame.
On the first pitch in the bottom of the sixth, Keon Broxton hitting a ground ball off Matt Harvey's leg and into no man's land, and Broxton, the speedster, is aboard with an infield hit.
Well, probably would have been up the middle. I don't think Walker would. If Walker makes the play, I don't think he throws out the speedy Broxton.
It's off the shoe of Matt Harvey. So you got a base stealer at first now. Tie game in the sixth. Josh Edgin is up in the Mets bullpen. Eric Sogard, the number 8 hitter, has been up twice and walked both times. The pitcher spot is due up next for Milwaukee, and Jesus Aguilar, big right-hand hitter, is out on deck to pinch hit. Rivera in close at third, thinking Sogard might be bunting. But he's not, and Harvey misses low and away for ball 1. Harvey has walked 5 tonight, including Sogard twice. Sogard making his first appearance for the Brewers, just called up today, the former Oakland Athletic. There's Aguilar on deck. And a fastball off the plate. For some reason, Harvey can't throw a strike to Sogard tonight. He's a little perturbed about it. At 100 pitches now, with nobody out in the sixth. Broxton 8 steals in 12 tries this year, 23 steals in half a season last year. And a drive in the air to deep right field. Forget that. That is way out of here. Eric Sogard, in his first official at bat as a Milwaukee Brewer, gets a 2-run homer. And the Brewers are back in front 4-2. That'll make you popular in town in a hurry. Sogard never much of a home run hitter.
2-0 fastball, Garrett, that bleeds out over the middle. Wanted it inside. I don't know why you'd want to try to come inside 2-0. Keep it away, and bleeds out over the middle. And
Eric Sogard did 8 home runs in 6 years in the major leagues with the Oakland Athletics. Not a guy you ever expect to hit the ball in the ballpark, but he gave it every inch that he had. His 9th career home run coming in his 1,211th at bat. Ouch. Now Orlando Arcia, the regular shortstop, will pinch hit. They had Aguilar on deck, a power hitter, but with the bases empty, Arcia comes up. Arcia has drawn raves for his defense, but has yet to hit. So the second home run that Harvey has given up tonight, 9 now for the season in 40 innings. And now 2-1 to Arcia. And now 3-1. And Harvey looks like he's at the end of the line. Three-one coming, and Arcia gets one in the air to deep right center. Back goes Granderson to the track, looking up. It's out of here.
Goodness.
Back-to-back home runs for the Brewers. Orlando Arcia with his 4th home run of the season, and now it's 5-2 Milwaukee.
Well, that's a bit of a stunner right there.
Now Arcia has got more power than Sogard. but he hit that ball a long way to center field.
Right center field. More towards center, but that's really an opposite field home run.
Well, this is a kid they expect to hit. He has not hit much, but that was well struck. That's the last pitch Matt Harvey will throw tonight. So after the Mets had rallied to tie it, Harvey gives up back-to-back home runs to the 8 and 9 slots in the batting order. 5-2 Milwaukee in the 6th. Josh Edgen coming into the game. Called to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon. From suspension. Not bad for the first 5 innings, but gets struck like lightning here in the 6th. And Josh Edgen's first pitch is pulled down the line by Jonathan Villar for an extra base hit. So Villar keeps the line moving with a double and still nobody out in the 6th. And Josh Edgen is greeted rudely.
Fastball in. Turns on it nicely.
Villar going into that at bat was hitting 135 as a right-hand batter.
No home runs in 37 at bats. There's Josh's numbers right there. Been used very sparingly. You see the 13 2/3 in 16 games, primarily against the left-handers.
Faced one batter on Wednesday, got Joe Panik to fly out and then was pulled. Now we'll face the left-hand batting Eric Thames, who was 0 for 2 with an intentional walk against Harvey tonight. The inning began with Keon Broxton hitting a soft grounder back to the mound that went off Harvey's heel for an infield hit. And then Sogard and the pinch hitter Arcia with back-to-back home runs. And then Edgen gives up a double to Villar. So 4 straight hits to start this 6th. And Edgen misses inside, 1-0. Well, the object is to get your starters deeper into games, and that was supposed to be the Mets' strength coming into the season, but that's right in the middle of the pack in innings pitched per start.
Well, the only one that's justified is
that's pulled down to first, and Duda makes a nice grab and then races Villar to the bag for the first out. So they're teeing off on Edgen.
Nice play by Lucas, very smooth. The only one you really have to have the pitch count on, watch carefully, is Wheeler coming back.
He's been getting as deep into games as anybody.
Yep.
Obviously not having Syndergaard, who's going to draw that number down. Noah's the best able to get you deep into games, and he's on the shelf.
Got to bring the infield in here.
Already down 5-2. Villar at third and 1 out. Hernan Perez has already had a good night with a single and a home run, 2 for 3. And takes a slider down for ball 1. So Harvey goes 5 innings plus, allows 5 runs, 7 hits, 5 walks, 1 intentional, 6 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Rafael Montero up in the bullpen.
I think Ron mentioned it about Harvey. Is that Harvey now is not. I thought he threw the fastball pretty good tonight when he needed it, but he's now got to learn that he's got to be more refined with his pitches. He cannot get away with a fat pitch like he used to.
Well, it's certainly reflected in the home run numbers, which are becoming alarming for Matt. He's now given up 10 home runs in 40 innings. And this is a guy who was incredibly stingy with home runs, even as his strikeout numbers came down the last few years. But that's just not sustainable. 10 home runs in 40 innings.
Well, let's just put it this way. You got to pitch in like Ferguson Jenkins and Catfish Hunter, who gave up a lot of home runs, but they were always solo shots.
Yeah, but then you can't walk 5. There's ball 4, and Perez is on with a walk. That's 6 walks given up by Met pitchers tonight. And now Travis Shaw will come up with runners at the corners. We'll see how the Mets play the infield here. Should be able to back up to double play down.
Should play double play in the middle, in at the corners. Which is how they'll play it.
VR at third, Perez at first with 2 out. With the 1 out, excuse me. Here's Travis Shaw, who's 0 for 3, flied out twice and struck out. Shaw takes the fastball inside. Travis Shaw, who was very outspoken about wanting to play more against lefties, and was talking about how he has had more success against lefties, hitting .297 against them this year after being benched against lefties in Boston last year.
Yes, and he pretty much, if I'm a Met pitcher, and I read the paper today, in the Milwaukee paper, his approach now has been more going the other way up the middle. Thanks for the tip.
And Edgin throws it to the backstop. Time had been called, obviously very late, and Edgin got the memo belatedly. That pitch did not count.
Oh boy.
That's a very late granting of time.
Yes, it is.
Tom Hallion. Its count should be 2-0. And now 3-0.
I think that upset Josh. He's got to forget about that.
Got the right-hand hitter Santana on deck, and now time is asked for because something got loose in left field. There's a beach ball on the warning track.
Josh is ready to.
The runner at third base, VR, noticed it and pointed it out to the third base umpire, Victor Carapazzo, who called for time. But Edgin a little discombobulated at this point. We haven't seen beach balls on the warning track recently.
Usually in Los Angeles, they're plentiful.
Even so, less than we used to. Dangerous spot here for Edgin. The runner goes from first, and Shaw, swinging 3-0, fouls it off.
Wow, 3-0 and the runner running. How about that?
Perez was on the way. It is interesting, right? Lefty on lefty. Got a right-hand hitter on deck. Montero is up in the bullpen. Don't know if he comes in if the bases are loaded, but that's right now scratching for bullpen arms with Familia out for the long term. Everybody else moves into more prominent roles. 3-1 coming, and it's fouled. That one caught the home plate umpire Hallion. He got staggered backwards, but it looks like Tom's okay.
He got popped. Oh, shoulder.
So Rivera out to the mound to buy the umpire a moment. Meanwhile, Edgens worked his way back from 3-0 to get it to 3-2. So do you send Perez here?
Yes.
Stay out of the double play?
They sent him 3-0 and 3-1. I can't imagine he wouldn't send the council wouldn't send him 3-2.
Only because you fear the strikeout. That would be the only reason. And Agent will check in on him. Meanwhile, VR took some liberties coming down the line at third, and Duda thought about throwing across the diamond.
And wisely did not.
Runner goes. Shaw strikes out. The throw by Rivera. Now they've got the run down, but the runner's going to score. Duda makes the tag, but the Brewers tack on a run as VR broke from third on the throw to second base and scores easily the fourth run of the inning to make it 6-2 as the inning comes to an end.
There's a play you don't see too much anymore. Gary, the old double steal.
I put another crossover on a road already filled with them. Why give it headlights like jewels, a body that feels sculpted?
Three runs home in that sixth inning, but they tack one on when the Mets fail to execute.
Well, Rivera does not check the runner at third. Now there are 4 plays here, folks, that could be put into play. Watch the runner at third. He breaks right away. So the 4 plays are: A, the catcher can fake the throw. I know we got Granderson up here. And then they can throw the pitcher. You can throw through to the shortstop or second baseman, or throw through, but the shortstop or second baseman come in front of second base to get the runner at home. Those are the 4 plays. And there should be a sign for that potential play. But it's a play I have not seen in a long time, Gary.
Well, I mean, VR was set to run as soon as Rivera unleashed that ball, which means that if he'd given him a glance and thrown behind him, he would have been a dead duck. Meanwhile, Oliver Drake is now pitching for the Brewers. There's Orlando Arcia, who hit the pinch hit home run. He stays in at shortstop. And here are Drake's numbers. Drake, the U.S. Naval Academy grad. That's pulled, and a nice stop by Thames for the first down.
Well, poor Curtis. Curtis can't catch a break. Hits the ball hard and it's right at him. That's when you're going bad.
So one hard out and nobody on. And now TJ Rivera, who's 1 for 2 today. So Matt Garza went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a wild pitch, a home run. And he is pitcher of record on the long side of this 6-2 score.
Oh, Drake's got a funky delivery, does he not?
Drake started out the year with the Orioles, was acquired by the Brewers in a cash deal in mid-April. He's a regular David Robinson, coming out of the Naval Academy to play professionally.
How tall is he, Gary? I mean,
well, he wasn't too big for the Submarines, wasn't like.
That's what I was getting at. Thank you.
Yeah. He's 6'4", 215.
That might not get you in a sub.
But you know, he's not 7 feet tall like the Admiral.
I don't think if I was in the Navy that I would want to have submarine duty.
Be a little claustrophobic.
Well, they don't have the bed bunks like they do in the new stadium in Atlanta, I'm sure.
No aromatherapy either, I'll bet. 3-1 now to Rivera. Oliver Drake, 30 years old. And he walks Rivera. So the Mets have a 1-out base runner, and TJ is on base for the 2nd time tonight. Let's go back to the double steal.
Okay, there's the signs. That is letting know everybody where the play is, where I'm going. So the Mets have the plays as they should.
So I guess the question then is, what went wrong? As Duda swings over the splitter, nothing in one.
What went wrong was the play was to throw through, because probably assuming on the bench it's a 3-2 count. The runner is not going to get picked off. The one thing you don't do on a 3-2 pitch is you go with the pitch. So it's not going to be a good jump. So I agree with throwing through.
So you're saying they threw through assuming they could throw
the runner out? Yes.
The runner at second, because remember, you have the defending National League stolen base champ at third base. So you know that he's got the speed to come home if you do throw through.
Well,
and don't check him back.
It didn't work out, did it?
No. Not at all. 0-2 to Duda, who's 0 for 2 in his return to the lineup tonight. A double play and a strikeout. And he pops one up. Into shallow left. On comes Perez, the left fielder, and that's the 2nd out. So 2 away. And now Rene Rivera, who's 1 for 2, singled back in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th. Well, the Mets tied the game in the 6th, but remember, Jay Bruce got picked off second base with Granderson standing at the plate to end that inning. And then the Brewers immediately struck with back-to-back home runs to regain the lead. And now the Mets find themselves 4 runs down. TJ at first, Rene at the plate, and the first pitch splitter in for a strike. There's People's United Bank bringing you tonight's starters. Matt Garza, 6 strong innings. Matt Harvey, 5 good ones and 1 really bad one. One to Rivera. Wilmer Flores is out on deck. He'll pinch hit if Rene can keep the inning going. Mets have only 1 left-handed bat on the bench, and that's the switch hitter Jose Reyes. 1-2, and he chases the splitter for strike 3. Drake has his first strikeout, and the Mets are done in the top of the 7th. Stretch time in Milwaukee, 6-2 Brewers. Hear the discussion about all the week's offbeat moments, from Matt Harvey's not in the town to Jerry's Familia surgery, plus predictions on what crazy thing will happen in Mets land next on SNY.TV's newest podcast, Meet the Mets Cast. Check it out on Mets blog, presented by Citi, featured on SNY.TV. Rafael Montero on to pitch the bottom of the 7th for New York.
Well, 6-2 in the 7th. This is a game here. They're going to need this young man. He has been off to not a good start, to say the least.
Got the last 2 outs on Wednesday after Jerry's Familia left the game, and now trying to get the Mets through the 7th. Domingo Santana 1 for 2 and a walk tonight. Did Montero have that rock to his windup, or is that a new element? Old friend Carlos Torres up in the bullpen for Milwaukee.
I don't see anything different.
Maybe it was just that one pitch. And a full count to Santana. Jet Bandy on deck, and then Keon Broxton for the Brewers in the 7th. Three-two coming, and Santana bounces one down to third, handled by Rivera. 1 out.
Hey, you got 8 gloves out there. See what happens?
No free passes.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Jet Bandy, who got the Brewers started tonight with an RBI double in the 2nd against Matt Harvey. Since then, he's flied out and grounded out, 1 for 3. Harvey went 5, allowed 5 runs, 7 hits. Josh Edgen worked an inning, allowed a run on a hit as the Brewers ran the double steal. Next SNY telecast will be Monday night from Phoenix, where the Mets open their series with the Diamondbacks. 8:30 the coverage right here on SNY. Next two here in Milwaukee will be on Pix 11 tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. Fly ball left field deep. Conforto back to the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. Jet Bandy with his 5th home run of the year. The Brewers' 4th home run of the night. It's now 7-2 Milwaukee. Well, the Brewers leading the National League in home runs. They now have hit 59 home runs in 36 games.
Oh, I do think with the 4 home runs that it'll keep them on top of the heap. Hanging breaking ball right into the wheelhouse.
Now Keon Broxton is 1 for 3. And he takes a big rip. 0-1.
Well, there's the contact, the slider. Look at the full extension of the arms right on the barrel. Eyes on the ball.
Down the right field line. Foul. Over 2 to Broxton, who hit one off Harvey's heel for an infield hit that started the train rolling for the Brewers in the 6th inning. Sogard and Arcia followed with back-to-back home runs. Pitcher spot is due up next, with the pitcher hitting in the 8-hole. Nick Franklin is out on deck, a switch hitter. And Broxton takes strike 3 called. 2 out. 3rd time Broxton has struck out tonight. Now Nick Franklin will be the pinch hitter. Franklin, the former Seattle Mariners shortstop. Playing a utility role for the Brewers, who go with a 4-man bench and a 13-man pitching staff. You know what's amazing about the Brewers' 13-man pitching staff? They're all right-handed.
Yes.
All the starters, all the relievers.
It reminds me when I was young and coming up in the mid-70s and playing against the Cubs, they never had a left-hander. They always had right-hand sinker ballers.
Now, the Brewers did have a lefty on their staff on opening day, Tommy Malone, who of course is now a Met. Two and one to Franklin. Off the end of the bat, charging Rivera, double clutches, and that loses him the play. He was in between whether to barehand or use the glove, and then he double clutched.
You're right, Gary.
And Franklin winds up with an infield hit.
Absolutely correct call on your part, Gary. He got caught in between. He wasn't sure. He had time to glove it, but he was caught in between, and that usually winds up a poor exchange or transfer, whatever you want to call it.
Either one.
I like transfer better, don't you? From glove to hand, it's a transfer.
Transfer, exchange, swap.
Okay.
Trade. Cambio.
Huh.
Here's Arcia up for the 2nd time, and he flies one down the right field line. Over comes Bruce. And that retires the side, but the Brewers tack on a run with their 4th home run of the night as Jet Bandy takes Rafael Montero deep. Off to the 8th we go in Milwaukee, 7-2 Brewers. For every Mets win, the Mets organization is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Cass Institute for Women's Health. The total contribution to date is $40,000 so far this season. Visit northwell.edu/cats to learn more. Oh, look who's on the mound for the Brewers, our old friend Carlos Torres.
Yeah, Carlos, 18 games. One thing about Carlos, he will take the ball. He likes to work. Very wound tight on the mound.
Jose Reyes to pinch hit. Reyes getting the night off tonight with the return of Duda. TJ Rivera moving over to third, and Reyes getting the day off. It'll be very interesting to see how Terry handles this going forward. But you have to believe as long as TJ hits, he's going to keep playing.
And we'll see how Jose handles it.
Reyes just 1 for his last 15, and he breaks his bat as he grounds one slowly. VR makes the underhand flip, and Reyes pulling up is retired. 1 out. I don't know if he's limping or if he just decided to pull up because he didn't think he had a chance to beat that out. It's never a good look, especially on a slowly hit grounder for a guy who's supposed to be your speed guy, not to run hard.
No, he shut it down.
I mean, that ball was slowly enough hit that you got to run that hard, don't you? There's Michael Conforto, and he takes a strike. Well, no sign of a trainer. Conforto 0 for 3 tonight. Michael hit one to the top of the center field fence that Keon Broxton caught in the 6th inning. Mets 2 runs, 5 hits. The Brewers 7 runs and 10 hits. Mets tied this game in the top of the 6th. But the Brewers with 3 home runs in the last 2 innings, 5 unanswered runs for this 7-2 lead. One-two from Torres. Whack foul. Carlos spent 3 years as a Met. 2014 he was in 73 games and worked 97 innings, the most relief innings of anybody in baseball that year. Now 34 years old, still going. Tell you what, that's good use of Carlos Torres right now with the state of their bullpen. Sandy Alderson said tonight that he's going to be looking internally and externally to try and find relief pitching. Mets were already in the market for a relief pitcher before this stunning news on Familia, as Conforto goes down swinging for the 2nd out. But with Familia out for the long term and possibly for the season, that certainly makes the quest for relief pitching even more pressing. So the question is, where do the Mets look to try and fill the gap? If you've got starters who aren't going deep into games, and all of a sudden your bullpen, which has already been stretched, has a key piece missing again.
I don't know what's available. You talked earlier, Gary, that it's hard to find relievers this early in the season. I don't know what's down in AAA. I don't think there's anything down there. Starters have got to pick it up. I mean, this, I don't know where they're going to go right now. This is a devastating loss, okay, compounded. This is like piling up. It's a lot to overcome. So I'm sure Sandy Alderson, who was here today and had a press conference, is working hard to try to figure out how to plug the holes in the dike.
What was stunning about the Familia situation is how quickly it developed. He was feeling a little tingling in his ring finger on Wednesday morning. They thought it was so minor that basically he just mentioned it in passing. Then he went and pitched Wednesday afternoon. And after the game, they decided to send him for tests, which they did Thursday morning. He had an MRA, which revealed the blood clot in his shoulder. So they sent him out to St. Louis to see Dr. Thompson, who had done Matt Harvey's thoracic outlet surgery. And Thompson saw him this morning and operated.
Well, then there was a obvious issue, and that could be a life-threatening issue if not corrected.
Ball 4 to Cabrera, so he's on with a 2-out walk. Well, the good news is that Sandy Alderson said it was probably not a life-threatening situation, so he tried to tamp that down a little bit. For more, let's check in with Steve.
Well, Gary, one other thing Sandy Alderson said is that this isn't exactly like the same situation we saw with Dylan G in 2012, but he also had an arterial blood clot in his throwing shoulder in 2012, and he kind of echoed what they were saying about Familia, about how quickly something like this could come upon you. In his final start on July 7th of that year, Dylan G went 8 innings, 1-run ball against the Cubs. He felt great, and then all of a sudden he had this bruising, this discolorment on his hand, and you know, that came the next day. Felt some numbness, and all of a sudden he was having surgery about a week later. So you know, it's something that seemingly can come out of left field like it did with Familia.
Well, just one more blow for a team that did not need it.
Boy, oh boy.
I mean, think about this. We're 34 games into the season, and the Mets have their best pitcher on the sidelines for the long term. Their best hitter has been out for 3 weeks and will probably be out for 2 more. And now their best reliever could be out for the season, and if not the season, at least the better part of it.
3 key components.
This team had to deal with a lot of injury issues last year, and they had some unexpected folks come up from the minor leagues to help out. The Lugos, the Gazelmans, they brought in a James Loney and a Jose Reyes, and they were able to patch it together and get to the postseason. Can you do that again? Not going to be easy.
Well, what makes it more difficult is that, you know, it's like a 1-2-3 punch, and in the third punch, the haymaker comes when you're beginning a very important, you know, a road trip, or maybe a week on the road, and you're going to play a much better Arizona team. This is a much better Brewer team.
1-2 to Bruce, and he goes upstairs and strikes out to end the inning. Couple of strikeouts for Carlos Torres, and the Mets are done in the top of the 8th. Still 7-2 Milwaukee. Drive around the majors presented by Audi. Another great start for Irvin Santana. He's now 6-1 with a 1.5 ERA as the Twins win 1-0. Wilson Contreras, a couple of home runs for the Cubs. They lead 3-1 in the ninth. And Tyler Flowers hit a homer and drove in 4 for the Braves as they snap a 6-game losing streak. Paul Sewald on to pitch. First pitch swinging Jonathan VR. Thrown out by Neil Walker for the first out.
Well, Sewald's coming off that nice little 3 1/3 innings of relief there. He just sucked up a lot of innings there against Miami back on May 7th. Sinker slider.
Well, remember that 3 1/3 came the day after he had worked 2 innings. So he really saved the rest of the bullpen. And he's going to have a more prominent role now. So is everybody. Eric Thames is 0 for 3 and a walk. Hit a ball hard his last time up, but Duda made a nice play going toward the line to snag it. And Sewald runs one inside, 2-1. Josh Edgin and Rafael Montero each worked an inning. Each gave up a run after Harvey went the first 5. Off speed pitch by Sewald, 2-2. The former NC Dino hits one in the air to right field, playable for Bruce. 2 out. They're your team. Take them with you. Watch every SNY Mets game on the go on any device all season long with live streaming presented by Verizon. Just download the NBC Sports app or visit SNY.TV. Your new home for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. Sewald has quickly retired the first 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Jacob Barnes up in the Brewers bullpen. Now it's a 5-run game, so it doesn't really apply, but Neftali Feliz has been the Brewers closer, and he has been giving up the home run ball. And so Craig Counsell said today that Feliz will no longer be the closer. Corey Knebel is the guy who will probably inherit the role. That's hit the other way. A base hit for Hernan Perez, his 3rd hit of the game. But Knebel threw 41 pitches yesterday against the Red Sox, who probably wouldn't have been available in a save situation today anyway.
No, he would not have.
But it looks like it might be a moot point now with the Brewers up by 5.
A little inside out there. Well done. See, you can hit and run. That's what you got to do when you hit and run.
Except it wasn't a hit and run.
I understand. Well, what's interesting about Feliz is that left-hand hitters are hitting 200 against him. Right-handers 216, but he's given up 5 home runs.
That's lined the other way. A base hit for Travis Shaw, his first hit of the game. Perez will stop at second as Conforto gets it in. So back-to-back 2-out hits for the Brewers. They now have a dozen hits for the night.
Well, that's how you hit a sinker. Well done by Shaw.
So that brings up Domingo Santana. Santana 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. Perez and Shaw with back-to-back 2-out hits. Each one of them taking the ball to the opposite field. And Santana fouls back the slider, 0-1. In the ninth, the Mets are due to send up Walker, Granderson, and T.J. Rivera. This is a game where the Mets were right there, tied the game 2-2 in the top of the 6th, and it got away in a hurry. Eric Sogard, who had 8 home runs in 6 years in the major leagues, in his first game as a Brewer, hit a 2-run homer against Matt Harvey to unlock the tie, and the Brewers have hit 2 more home runs since and stolen a run. It's a nice welcome to town. It's a good slider by Sewald, and it's 1-2. 1-2 coming on the outside corner. Got him looking. Side retired. So Sewald picks up his first strikeout. And we head to the 9th in Milwaukee. Mets final chance, down by 5. As we go to the top of the 9th, Jesus Aguilar is on to play first base. He'll bat 8th. Jacob Barnes in to pitch. He'll bat 2nd.
There's Barnes's numbers, and I'm wondering, that's the view, everybody, that Barnes might be the one that's going to take over the closing role here.
He's got 1 save already this year. First man up, Neil Walker, lines 1 to right, and that drops for a base hit. And so Walker is 3 for 3.
So
drove in the 2 Met runs tonight with a home run and a single, and now he adds his 3rd hit of the night.
Well, one shining star in this game tonight for the Mets is Walker coming around with that 3 for 3 and the 2 RBIs. Can't keep a good man down.
Now Granderson, who's 0 for 3, lined out to first base his first time up. Aguilar will play behind Walker at first base with the Mets down by 5. And Granderson takes the cutter inside for ball 1. Matt Garza stands to win this game for Milwaukee. He went the first 6, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits. Oliver Drake and Carlos Torres each pitched a hitless inning. And now Barnes in the 9th. And Granderson hits one the other way over the bag and down the line. Walker will go first to 3rd. And Granderson pulls into second base with an opposite field double. And the Mets have 2nd and 3rd and nobody out.
Curtis hit a line drive his last at bat. There's a slider that stayed on the right down the middle, and Curtis going the other way. Got something brewing here.
Well, this is much like the game Wednesday afternoon after the Giants scored the 4 runs in the top of the 9th. The Mets rallied back with 2 in the bottom of the 9th before falling short. Now 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. And here's T.J. Rivera, who's singled and walked today, 1 for 2. And he goes after a first pitch fastball, 0-1. Lucas Duda waiting on deck. Rene Rivera behind him. Let's try to keep the line moving here in the top of the ninth.
Another slider right there. 2 in a row fished after him.
Coming up tonight after the post game, it's Geico Sports Night. All the stuff you see there will be all part of the show.
Mellow yellow.
Quite rightly. Ground ball hit slowly, charged by Arcia, and out at first as a run comes in. So Walker scores on the ground out by Rivera, but most importantly for the Brewers, they get the first out of the inning. It's now 7-3.
RBI for TJ, his 8th on the year.
Granderson went to third on the play. Now it's Lucas Duda, who's 0 for 3 in his return to the lineup. Double play, strikeout, fly ball. And that gets away, and Granderson will come in to score the second run of the inning. So on the wild pitch, Granderson comes home. It's now 7-4.
Not much you can do there. Hard breaking ball down in the dirt.
So now with 1 out and nobody on, a 1-0 count to Duda, and the Mets very much in need of more base runners. And now 2-0.
Well, Mr. Barnes likes his slider, does he not? That's all he's throwing.
Rene Rivera on deck. Pitcher spot behind him. Let's have all right-handed bats on the bench. There's a strike, 2-1. And the left-handed bat the Mets had was Reyes, and he was used as a pinch hitter in the 8th. So you got Reynolds, Lagares, Flores, Plawecki on the bench. And Duda goes after that cutter, and it's 2-2.
He is a carbon copy of Carlos Torres. Slider, 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 slider.
And now a full count. Seven-year-old Jacob Barnes out of Florida Gulf Coast University, which probably means he can dunk. 3-2 coming, and Duda smacks one to the gap in right center field, and that's down for an extra base hit. So Duda's first hit since coming off the disabled list is a 1-out double, and the Mets have a little more life here in the ninth. They need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate.
Nice swing on it by Lucas. Finally got a fastball.
Yeah, first straight fastball he's thrown.
Or else it was a spinner.
So now they'll get Jared Hughes up in the bullpen. With Barnes struggling here in the ninth, he's faced 4 batters, given up a single and 2 doubles. 2 runs are scored. Craig Counsell's on his way out to the mound. Remember that his closer has been Neftali Feliz. He has been deposed. His closer in waiting is Corey Knebel, but he threw 41 pitches yesterday. So he will go in a different direction here. Barnes will come out and Jared Hughes will come in. So the Mets trying to create some drama here in the ninth. 2 runs home, 3 still needed. We'll be right back. Hughes, who has 3 saves in his major league career, comes into a save opportunity in the 9th.
Required very late from the Pirates. Pirates released him.
Rene Rivera, the batter, with Duda at second, and the first pitch fastball inside. So the Mets have scored twice here in the 9th. Duda's double knocking Barnes out. Mets need one more base runner to get the tying run to bat, and Wilmer Flores is out on deck to pinch hit. Rivera 1 for 3 tonight, and Rene socks one to deep left field. Back goes Perez to the track. He's there to make the catch. So Rivera comes up a little bit shy, and that's the second out of the inning.
I thought he got a little more than that one. I thought it had a chance to get out when it left his bat.
So now the Mets down to their final out. Wilmer Flores will pinch hit. If he can get aboard, then you can get Michael Conforto to the plate as the tying run. It's a swung the bats well here in the 9th. But they've got their backs to the wall now. Wilmer started on Wednesday, had 3 hits and drove in a couple of runs, but also made the key error in the 9th that opened the door for the Giants. Then he came up in the bottom of the 9th, and he barely missed a 3-run homer. Remember that ball that went off the glove of Justin Ruggiano and off the top of the fence?
I do.
Went for a 2-run double instead. The Mets came up a run shy. Duda at second and 2 down. And Wilmer goes after the fastball, and it's 0-2. So now the Mets are down to their final strike. Jared Hughes had 2 saves in 2012 and 1 last year with the Pirates, looking for his first as a Brewer. In the dirt, and Bandy knocks it down 1-2. Mets have seen plenty of Jared Hughes over the years. He was part of a tremendous bullpen in Pittsburgh back when Mark Melanson and Jason Grilli were working at the tail end of games for the Pirates a few years ago. Flores is 0 for 3 against Hughes. 1-2 coming. And Wilmer checks the swing, and he stopped it in time. And the Mets remain alive, 2-2.
Hughes has got another one of those funky motions. Unorthodox, little herky-jerky, throws a hard sinker, what I'm seeing right now. Got to make him get the ball up.
He will walk people. Sometimes you got to wait him out. But Flores has to go to hitting with the count 2-2. And Wilmer lays off, and now a full count. So Hughes got ahead of him 0-2, and Wilmer has worked it to 3-2. With Conforto looming on deck.
Get ahead in the count 0-2, and you string it out to 3-2. I don't know how many times I see it. You just relinquish your advantage to the hitter.
It's trying to battle from their heels here in the top of the 9th. 3-2 to Flores, and Wilmer grounds one foul.
When you got a guy with 8 home runs in the on-deck circle and a left-hand hitter in Conforto, this is the out you got to have, and it's no free pass.
There's nobody up behind Hughes in the Milwaukee bullpen. 3-2 to Flores. And Wilmer fouls another one. So Wilmer giving a good accounting of himself in this pinch hit at bat. Greg Counsell trying to piece together his bullpen at a time when his closer situation is in flux. 8th pitch of the at bat coming to Wilmer. And he lifts one along the line. Santana a long run to come in, but he gets there, and the Brewers hang on to win it. Milwaukee hits 4 home runs as Matt Harvey gives up 2 of them in the 6th inning after the Mets had tied the game, and the Brewers win the opening game of the series 7-4.
Well, the Brewers, as the Mets came into this series after the devastating news about Jerry's Familia, the #1 home run hitting ball club, and they proved it tonight, Gary. 4 home runs from the Brewers, 3 off Matt Harvey. I thought Matt threw decent, but he just made 3 fat pitches, 3 home runs. On the Mets side offensively, the only real star offensively was Neil Walker, 3 for 3, home run, drove in 2 runs. He's on the rise now, but the Mets lose the opener of this road trip.
So Matt Garza goes 6 strong innings to get the win. Game summary presented by Ram. Matt Harvey gives up 5 runs over 5 innings. 3rd straight start. He's given up 5 or more earned runs. Jared Hughes gets the 4th save of his career, his first as a Brewer, and not pictured there, Eric Sogard, the 2-run homer that put Milwaukee in front in his first game in a Brewers uniform. Milwaukee wins it 7-4. More from Miller Park coming right up.